Hello guys, this is Mohammad Asim Khan, a Unity XR game developer, and let's get started with a new video.
Okay, so let's see what we will discuss in this video. The first thing would be the installation of the Hugging Face Unity API. The next thing, there are two major issues which come with this project, and nowhere would you find a solution for this. These are the solutions which I have found out by experimenting with the API and the project. So yeah, it's exclusive content, which watch out for that. So we would fix those issues. Then we would be testing the API results. So we would be testing with text to image API endpoint. And then I would show you how we can change the API endpoints to models which we want to use other than the ones which are already provided by default. And finally, we would be using it. We would be basically write a code which would show, basically it would demonstrate how we can use the results of the ML model, basically the Unity Hugging Face API for our own needs. So yeah, that's all, and let's just dive right into the video now. So let's start with a fresh Unity project. This is a simple 3D built-in project, nothing fancy. So let's start with importing the API first. So there is this Hugging Face Unity API GitHub project. Actually, this is not a Unity project. This is just a package. So all of so we can directly get the GitHub link from here. Go to our Unity package manager, and we can add it as a Git URL. So we just paste it and we add it like this. So you would start adding a new package to install this. Let's wait for that. Meanwhile, let's this GitHub repo. So here basically you would find the installation steps as well, but to be honest, let me tell you, like there are some errors which we would face while directly following this, because this report does not take into consideration those errors and there is no resolution available online if you search for it even. So I have found out the ways how to resolve them. Actually, there are two major issues. So you would see how to, set this project up, resolve any errors. We would then explore the example scene, sorry. And yeah, let's see. Okay, the package is already installed. So now see, you need to add your API key here. So let's do that. How do you do that is this, they have provided a link here. So let's click on this link. It would open you this web page. Here you can create a new token like this. Name your token. Let's name it Hugging Face Unity. And we can just need to make all these settings enabled so that you can just access it. All the others are optional. I guess we don't need them right now. So let's create token. Once it's created, copy it, done. Here you can see all your available tokens. So here is this wizard. Let's paste your API key here and let's test if it is working or not. API key is valid, and well, if I close it from here, you can get it back from the Windows and Hugging Face API wizard. Now you see here different endpoints for different unit Hugging Face 3D models are available here. So if we go and check out this thing, so suppose if we are on the models page of Hugging Face, so see all different tags are here. You can simply select any of this, and we would see how to access these links from the Hugging Face platform. So let's check that out later. Now for testing it out, we need to install the samples. So we would install the samples from here, and installing the sample for that. Okay, yeah, the samples are also installed. Now in the project, we would see Hugging Face API examples and scenes we have. So there are three scenes as of now. So let's try out with this text to image example. Import TMP essentials for sure. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, this is imported. So now see, it's a very simplistic scene structure, nothing fancy, and it's good also for the starting point. Let's switch to 2D mode. Here is our game view. Okay, and yeah. Okay, so let's start exploring the example scene. This is the text to image model. You would enter a text prompt and it would generate you an image. So now first let's resolve the errors which I was talking about. There are two errors. So you can see this is the main component, which is this script attached to it, text to example. But here it's not functional. So what you can do is you can just remove it from here. Let's try and re-import it, or let me show you. If you try and drag it here, it will show you this error. Can't add the script because something is there. So majorly this issue is encountered if the script name of the script and name of the class, monobehavioral class, is different. But you can see the name of text to image example. Class is also text to image example. So this should work. There is no problem with the script. So don't think like that. We can just re-import it. So let's try re-importing it. Recompile the script, and then we would re-adding it. Okay, so re-importing was done. Let's try again adding this script here. Again, it can't show you like that. Let's do one more thing. Now, if you drop this, see, how can you know this? How possibly can anyone know this? This is going to be a solution. Actually, this is the same script. If you see, again, it's in the assets. Like, for example, script, same script. And now if I try adding it, it would again add. So this was a really weird issue. Anyways, now we just need to set it up. The image is um, the result, I suppose. Yes. And the input field would be this. Status text would be this. Generate button would be this. Okay. Okay. Now we are ready to give it a go. Fine. So let's try with a really simple keyword, car. Here is the error number 2, which is it was not able to generate the image. And however many times you try, this is going to be the same thing, other resolution. And the reason for that is, see, now if you go to this Hugging Face API wizard, you see the maximum timeout is 3 seconds here. So if you increase it to something higher, let's take it 10, and now save it, and now let's try it this time. Let's see what do we get. Let's try with a cat and a plant. Let's see what happens. It's rather a complex one, so let's see. Okay, the first endpoint took more than 10 seconds, no error results from that. Trying out with the backup endpoints. The other one failed as well. Version 1.4, if you see. Now see, finally, we have with the third backend backup endpoint, it is able to generate this image. See, we entered a cat and a plant, and it has generated a really, really fantastic image. So, okay, so now we have resolved both the two errors, the script issue and the timeout issue. Okay, now so we saw how to resolve those errors. We saw how to use this sample. Now let's see if you want to use any other models than the ones present by default. So for example, we are currently using text to image, and the model which it is using is Stable Diffusion version 1.5. Instead of this, if we want some other model, so let's check. You go and logging to Hugging Face. This is the one, and I already have the account, so I can directly go to the home page. But for new users, you would have to create your account. Now, once you are logged in and all, you can go to this models tab, and here you can check what type of model you want. So currently we want text to image model. So we click that. It would now show all the models which are related to text to image. Correct. So maybe this is version 3 of Stability Diffusion only. Um, all of these are image generation ones only. So let's pick up this one. Let's see if this provides, yeah, okay, inference API is there. You need to look for this inference API and deploy serverless. And now you need to get this URL from here. Copy. We copy that. And samples are again here. Latest, our oldest anime model. Okay, so let's see what this anime model can do. So text to image, we would paste this thing. Okay, be sure to check this use backup endpoints. Otherwise, if this model fails, it's not going to try out your query with any other model. So you won't get a result for sure. And the maximum timeout is 10 already. So now let's try out. So let's type on a bike. Generating. Okay. So see our anime model got failed after 10 seconds. Let's see if any other model is able to generate the image. Okay. The other model failed as well. That's not good. Okay. No model was able to generate the complex. So let's try out a simple thing. Flowers maybe. Let's see. This is a simple keyword. This should done. It should run. There are sometimes internet issues as well. Okay, yeah. So it's like that only. So maybe this if we can also reset to default. So this is how it is currently right now. Like even for simpler queries like flowers, it's not running sometimes. Even though we have a maximum timeout second of 10 seconds. So that is something. But anyways, like this is what it is, and we can try to make the most of it. So let's try out again. Like I have reset things to default now. So basically I showed you how to change the endpoints. So let me show you another quick demo. Let's see. Let's hope it runs this time. Flowers, Flowers, flowers. You would search. Okay, now you get it. So see the flowers are there. It's a good image. Yeah, that was the endpoints. You can find other endpoints as well. So see, now this was one model. Similarly, there are other models as well here. Here is this the other one. See again, we can get the API from here and then use it. So yeah. Okay, so let's finally see how we can use this to our purposes. So what we can try doing is, so what happens is an image is generated and it is applied to this result image as a sprite. So we can write a code which would take this sprite and the texture from this sprite and it would apply it to some game object in our scene. So let's start by adding a 3D cube, and okay, here it is. Let's reset the position, scale it up to around 300. Okay, numlock was off. Okay, 300, give it some random rotation, 40, 55, 20. Okay, so this is the rotation. You won't be able to see it in the game scene, of course. Okay, and let's rotate the mister a bit. Set to local, then to global. Oh, acha, it's in 2D. Move it forward a bit. Something to like this. Now, what else we need is, let's reduce the scale also. Okay, other than this, to manipulate the material of this cube, we would have to create another material which we would apply to it. So let's create a new folder which would be materials, and also let's create a new folder for scripts. Oh, sorry, I just created a script. CRPTS scripts. Okay, in this, I would create a new material. Now you see, I'm able to directly create them because I have assigned some shortcuts. So it's a good practice to have quick key bindings for your um, keyboard, and so just you can just quickly do stuff. Okay, now let's add this material. Let's change the color to red. Now let's add it to the cube. Fine. Now you'll access this mesh renderer, the material, and the main texture of the material. Okay. So fine. Okay, this is there. Now also we would need a button to apply the texture. So let's duplicate this generate button only. Let's focus on it a bit. Let's duplicate this. Let's rename this. Let's see another shortcut I have applied assigned here, which would be apply texture. Let's change the field also. Apply on cube. Also maybe change the color to blue, my favorite color. That's done. Okay, we would pull it down. Also, there is one more thing. See, the status text is kind of covering this button, so we won't be able to click it. So it would be better if you move it down as well. Somewhat here. Yes, okay. Now what we would need is, now the only thing left is to create the script. So let's try creating our script. Control Shift C, which is my shortcut for creating a script, and use generated texture. Okay, let's name it like this. Open it in our coding Visual Studio. For two things, one would be this game object which we want to manipulate. So let's name it object, public game object, and the other thing would be the image. Okay, which would be the result image. Okay, and to use this image, actually there's some, let me restart it, I guess. Then it would better show some autocorrects and all things like that. Okay. Anyways, to use the image, we need to use Unity engine. Yeah, like that. Unity engine.ui. I'm using. Now we would create a public function, public void. Let's name it set texture. Now what we need is object dot get component, which is our mesh renderer. Okay, and to that material, and the main texture would be the result image dot sprite dot texture. Okay, so the sprite which is attached to this image, you texture, and the texture which is through which this sprite is generated. Okay, and okay, you need to apply that. Let's save it. I guess, yeah, this should do. Let's also remove the unnecessary imports of some collections. That is okay. Reload, and let's see if there are any errors. Okay, we are free of any errors. Let's assign this script here. What's the ladder? Let's remove this unrequired. Okay, now object is this, so we could have already directly used get component, but it's fine. And the result image is this. Now also one more thing, we need to apply this as an on click function. So let's click that, assign the cube, and use generated texture, set texture, yes. So let's test our thing. We need to zoom out. We won't be able to see the results in the game view for now because of the camera settings, but let's see what we can do with this. So we would try generating some kind of textures. So let's extract. Yeah, so we have it here. And if you click on cube, see here, it's applied here. And now it's reddish because the original material of the cube was red. So if we change this material's color, base color to white, see the same texture is applied on this cube as well. So we have achieved what we wanted. Similarly, let's give it another go with maybe, what do we like? Cats. We like cats, yeah. So let's try that. Uh, Not good, but let's try it out. Cats, okay, cutie kitty catty is here. So yeah, so this was one of the examples how we can use it to our purposes. So maybe like you can get really crazy with this API, like using different models for your purposes. So let me check it out on the GitHub repo. So see all what features are available in this repo. Like maybe basically it's showing what kind of models are available. Conversation task, and text to image, text classification, zero shot text classification, question answering, translation, summarization, similarity, speech recognition. In the project also the samples are three samples are provided. So where is it? Okay, yeah, speech recognition is there and conversation example is there. There is going to be, I suppose, similar issue like we faced. Yes, see. So let's remove this. Search for conversation example, apply it here, and let's let me show you quickly these things. Patient text, input field, clear button, send button this is, and this is clear button. Okay, battery is running low, I need to be quick. Try this out. Let's see if this works. This is the game view. Let's say hi. Bot is typing. Will it be able to reply? Oh, it's taking a long time. See, it's not able to. Maybe endpoint. Okay, yeah, it just timed out. So I guess this model is really old. I read it on the issues of this GitHub repo actually, so you can find out the issues as well here. So see, one of the issues was this. See, update default endpoints because someone stated that these endpoints are now very old. So anyway, so I just showed you how you can use this to your purposes, how you can find out different other endpoints, and so yeah, I guess that's all. That's we just can conclude here. Yeah.
Okay, so this was the video, and this is going to be a part of a series of videos. Maybe I would create a playlist called Unity plus Generative AI, and we would explore how to integrate different generative AI tools in Unity and how we can use them for our purposes. So, yeah, let's stay tuned. So in the next video we would see how we can modify the model outputs, and we would also explore the Hugging Face API in depth, and we would write code to maybe use other models other than the ones already provided in the sample. So see you then. Okay then guys, bye bye.